thruuu can now analyze and extract data from AI overviews. It's, let's say, quite big in the US. It's slowly coming into Europe. More and more SERPs sees AI overviews. So it's really exciting. I mean, also challenging for most of the SEOs, right? But I think exciting times. And so yeah, today's the goal is to basically show you how thruuu can help you analyze AI overviews, and as well how you can use this data directly into your content production process. Basically, with thruuu, you can create content brief, and I will show you how to leverage this data. So yeah, I will directly jump into thruuu and share my screen. By the way, if you have any question, don't hesitate to share them. All right, so as I said, let's have a quick tour of thruuu, especially. So today we'll focus on SERP analyzing, including AIO, and from a SERP analysis, how to move to the content brief and start creating a brief that you can share with your writer. So if you are not yet familiar with thruuu, this is the interface of thruuu. There is 3 main features, or let's say there is, in fact, there is 4 main features, but there is 3 buttons here. You can analyze a SERP, you can create content brief, you can create cluster, so basically grouping keywords, and as well you can optimize your content. So basically you can audit URL of a page to get some recommendation. But as I said, today we will focus on the SERP analysis. To start the SERP analysis is quite straightforward. You can click on Analyze. Here you can enter your keyword. So let's say, I don't know, like best accounting software. Then you can select your SERP. So you can select any SERP. By the way, AI overviews in thruuu are right now only available with google.com. Even though I started to notice that for other domain AI overviews are starting to pop up as well. But for sure, with google.com, you should get AI overviews if the SERP display an AI overview. So here you can select the SERP you want to analyze. You can also include search volume or not, and then you click on Analyze SERP. I prepared an analysis, and you can go here on My SERP Analysis and review all your SERP analysis. So let's open the one that I've done a few hours ago. What is the best accounting software? So basically, I mean, if our goal is to create a great content and a great content brief, my process will be always to start with a SERP analysis. Because with thruuu, you get a lot of data coming from Google SERP. So I will go through now the main functionalities, and obviously we will deep dive a bit more in the AIO analyzer. And I will also show you other new things. For instance, now when you open, you can open now the live SERP, which will be let's say a preview of the SERP that has been scraped. So you don't need a VPN anymore to go on the US SERP. By the way, right now I'm in France, and you can see here it's a US SERP. So it's the preview is directly stored into thruuu, and here you can see the SERP that has been analyzed, containing an AI overview with all the AI overview sources, and then below you have the classic organic listing. So it is already something quite great, and it's a new thing that is available now in thruuu. And obviously, based on this SERP, thruuu has extracted a lot of data. Here, what you can see, it's what we call SERP insights. So you have the words on average. So for the organic listing, so the page rank, which is basically page ranking thruuu, is competitor metrics. So domain ranking, obviously. So you can see also how competitive the SERP is. You can quickly check the number of images, the number of and the last update. So here you can see it's quite fresh, 16 days ago. So you can get great data directly from this view, and then we can even have more data. So the first results or the first report will display the SERP. Here is the SERP. So we have the different elements. You can see the AI overview, the first results, the questions, the PAA. And if you click on a result, on a entry of the table, you will see some data here. Also the AI overview, obviously, you can click here and you can see the what the AI overview is displaying in the SERP. You can get additional information for every organic listing. So the page rank again, so basically how competitive this page is, so number of words, number of images. And if you click here, you can get an extended view and you will get additional information like the page type, number of headings, publication date, modification date if it's available, and more information about schema and so on. But so yeah, here you can quickly have a look, understand, yes, who are your competitors for this keyword, the size of the content, the type, etc. Then the next tab will display the AI overview sources. Okay, so if I go back to the SERP analysis, to the SERP here, you can see here the sources. So by default, Google is showing 3 sources. But here you can see there is way more, because if you click on show all, you will see the full list, which contain a lot of sources. So all these sources has been used by the AI overviews to basically generate this summary, right? And here the point is also to understand what are the sources, and yes, and the page rank were. So here you have a similar view than the SERP. You can see as well if pages are in both view. So here you can see that these 2 pages are also in the organic listing, because the best accounting software is ranking as the position number 2, and best accounting software service for small business as the position number 9 in the organic listing. All right. So it gives you some insights about what Google has used from the organic listing into the AI overviews, and also the new stuff. And so here you can see that all of the following are not at all in the top 10. You can see some YouTube videos. There is 4 YouTube videos, quite interesting, because also here it can give you some insights about what kind of format maybe you might use, yes, how you should structure your article, or how you should basically structure your content strategy. I would like to say here, we might create an article, but as well maybe having a YouTube video is might be quite important, because there is like 4 YouTube videos used as a source for the AI overview. So maybe something to leverage here. This is great insights. Michael, yes, so far, I mean, only available for the US SERP, but as I said, it's starting to pop up in other SERPs, Italian SERPs, if you are in Europe, French, not yet, Swiss SERP, UK, so Germany as well, I think. So slowly, the SERP analyzer extract more and more AI overviews from different countries. But Michael, I know that you're French, and unfortunately in France, it's not yet available, but I guess very soon. So here, quite good. You can see all the sources and analyze them. By the way, I didn't show you that. If you click on the source, or also on the previous view, you click on the page, you will see on-page data with meta information, meta description, meta title, and also the heading structure. So you can get all the information right here, and also frequent terms. So these are all the text. So through analyzing the text and extracting the most frequent terms from every single pages. Okay, so again, I repeat, our goal now is really to understand the SERP, because later on we need to create a content brief, and we should understand, yes, what should be the angle, what should be the format. So by analyzing the top 10 of the organic plus the sources, and now also the AI overview insights. AI overview insights is a national additional report that highlights some statistics and some good information. Again, here you have the AI overview. Here you can see basically the snippets. here you can see the number of sources. So there is 34 sources in this AI overviews. It's quite interesting as well. I started to make some analysis, and sometimes it's really crazy the number of sources that are used by AI overviews. Here it displays the brands that are mentioned. So you can see the main brand mentioned in the AI overview in the text. And also here it's like an analysis of the topics and theme covered by the AI overview. So you can see that it speaks about small business accounting, comprehensive feature, cloud-based solution, user-friendly interface. So maybe these are topics and theme that you should maybe bring into your content later on. So again, here we are in the ideation phase. We need to understand how to structure our next content. Here you have additional data as well, just to compare AI overviews with the organic listing. So you can see that AI overview has less number of words. It's really interesting. Why, I don't know, but maybe shorter content are better in this case. Also less image, obviously, if the content is shorter. Average page rank is a bit higher. So here there is more, let's say, authority in the AI overview. And for the freshness, it's more or less the same. Also here you can again see number of URLs in AI overview in top 10. So here only 2, and you see it was PC Mag and CNBC. And you have other additional information like average ranking of the AIO. So here you can see 5.5 is basically the average ranking for these 2 articles here. Also shared domain. Here only 2. Sometimes there is more shared domain. Sometimes there is a domain that are in the AI overviews and as well in the organic listing, but it's not the same article. So also here is quite interesting that sometimes same domain display on both sides, but with different URL. And also this view is quite cool. I mean, you can see sometimes there is more. Here there are only 2, so it's quite easy to figure out. But sometimes you have like more AI overview displaying organic results, so you can really see quickly again side by side compare AIO with organic listing. Obviously, we cannot do a proper analysis in this webinar because I'm going quite fast. Sorry, but yes, you get all the insights to make your analysis. Steve. Yeah, sorry, page rank is quite confusing. Sorry, yeah, I know. I will rename this metric. Page rank is basically, let's say, domain authority, if you want, or competitiveness. Sorry, I'm French, so maybe I should just relabel that because page rank is not the ranking of the pages. So page rank equal competitiveness. Is it clear, Steve? Right? Yes. Let me see if it's clear. Or tell me a new label that I should use, and I will update the interface with a proper label. All right. So yeah, so let me continue. So here also this is quite, I mean, good point, Steve. No, in fact, here I can be totally transparent. I'm using an open source API called Open Page Rank. So it's not my own formula at all. I'm using this API. So these services, Open Page Rank, that basically crawl the web and also put a ranking on every URLs. So I guess this data are also used by other tools, by the way, but they put on top maybe their own formula. Here I just take the raw data here. All right. So here, good. Great, Steve. Happy to help. And the last report is also quite interesting because here what it shows is it's similar headings, similar questions, and similar topics between AI overviews and the organic listing. So you can see what is in common. But in fact, I think what is important is to also see what is not in common. So here what you have in this view, you have the most frequent headings found in the top 10 of the organic result and in the AI overviews, right? So in green is headings discussed or used by, let's say, both worlds, the organic and the AI overview sources. But I think what is important is maybe to see what is unique to the AI overview source. Like here I speak about how expensive is an accounting software. I'm pretty sure they speak about pricing on this side as well, but maybe, the way to speak, the way to phrase it this way, how expensive might tell us something. So there is here they speak about small business, best for small business, also here. But I mean, you should basically analyze here both world and figure out what can be unique, basically to one of to the AIO or to the organic results. Similar question as well, quite interesting. So here the similar question will extract H1 and H2s and only focus on the question found in headings, right? And group them by similarity. So already one thing that is interesting is that you can see that the H1, there is question in the AI overviews, but no question in H1 for the organic results. So also here, interesting, there is specific article like, I don't know what program does most accountants use. So it is a specific article about that. So yes, interesting to analyze this. Also for similar questions, here is again, I said, is focusing on the most frequent question found in headings. And also here the point is to figure out what is important for AI overview versus organic listening. So you might find similar question, but at a different weighting in terms of interest. Finally, you also have the topics. So topics, I repeat, is it's a frequent terms found on page grouped. Then so basically in the top 10, through is analyzing the frequent terms, the frequent keywords used on the page, and then group them together. Again, the same story. So here you can see the one that are common to both. But again, I think what is great is to find the uniqueness. So here there is not a lot that is unique here, but they speak about QuickBooks, solo entrepreneur here, income expense. So again, you need to figure out why these terms might be important and maybe include them in your content. So this was the new things about AI overviews. By the way, now we'll move to the brief very soon. Also, all the data coming from AI overviews are now available in the content brief features of thruuu. Very soon, there will be as well a new feature where you can basically analyze at scale AI overviews by dropping a large set of keywords and understanding how your website is ranking, how your brand is mentioned, etc., your competitors, and so on. So you will have a new tool very soon, hopefully end of next month, end of June, that will do this analysis at scale. To move on with the SERP analyzer, there is few other, let's say, reports. So again, here, a focus on the topics. So here you can see only the organic result topic, so accounting. And when you click on one, you can see how is it used inside the page. You have topics that are only unique to the top 3. So this is only discussed by the article from PC Mag. So again, here you can maybe find out what makes or what is a unique angle of PC Mag, because they speak only about this software, this kind of topic. And below you have all the topics. So again, here a long list of topics. So feel free to have a look. Personally, I often just scroll the top topics. These are the ones that are displayed or used by most of the top 10. And also something new, you can also switch to the AI overview view and basically do the same analysis for the AI overview. The same here, the outlines of all the outline. So you can also browse them, do some analysis, understand how the format of the article, the different headings used. The same AI overview switch. Question as well here. You can here get a view on the questions. So people also ask are extracted from the SERP with the most frequent question found on the page. And also FAQ schema here. You can see FAQ schema, so PC Mag and, well, I have a lot, and NerdWallet, business.com. These are basically, I think, all the FAQ schema extracted. And you can also go here on the AI overview and have the same view. So now you have let's say, double the data in through from the organic listening and from the AI overviews. To close this analysis, let's move faster a bit here. You also have an overview of the title, so you can see the SERP title and when Google rewrite it. Same for the description. You have some keyword from the description, and you can see all the description here and when Google rewrite it. You have related searches here. I mean, you can also find them on the SERP, but they're just here. Copy them, and here you go. You have also the images, so from the AIO or from the organic, so all the images are extracted. And video as well. YouTube videos are extracted from pages ranking on AIO or on the organic listening. And here also you have two reports that you should that are leveraging AI. So here you have again an analyzing of the headings. So this is using AI and not only focusing on questions. So here it's using like basically embeddings and vectorization to understand most frequent headings. And you can find out, what are the most frequent headings. And when you click here, you can see which page is using these headings. And you have another one that is more advanced. Here it's analyzing the content of the pages and group similar paragraph together. So basically, you can see that this is used by 40% of the results. You speak about QuickBooks, and this is a summary here. And here, when you click here, you can see all the paragraphs that speak about QuickBooks. So you can see that the page ranking 2, number 8, well, it has 2 paragraphs that speak about more or less the same thing, and so on. So here you can get, again, also an idea of what are the frequent topics and paragraph, and discussed by the organic listening. This is not yet available for AI overviews, but it's coming soon as well. And also on top, you can explore new ideas. So based on the analysis of what is frequent, based on the frequent content, through is also suggesting maybe ideas of new things to put in your content. Because the idea is to, the philosophy is to always try to find something unique. You need to come with a unique angle. You need to come with something, that is not yet on the SERP to be able to rank. And I think this is quite clear as well, even more with AI overviews, that, for instance, here we have like different listing. So they list different software. I mean, it's quite straightforward. Here it was a list article. But then also in AI overview, you will see, I mean, if you do deep analysis, that's the intent is more fragmented. There is not only a list here, there's also sometimes article. So coming with new angle might also increase your chance to be picked by AI overviews and also to rank on the organic listing. And obviously the best would be to be like PCMag, to be number 2 in the organic and also number 1 in the AIO. Okay, so this was the first step, let's say. So analyzing the SERP, analyzing AIO, or basically AIO are in the SERP, so analyzing the SERP, AIO, organic, everything. And as I said, now the next step will be for us to create a content brief. So with thruuu, you can directly, from the SERP analysis, create a content brief. And I will show you later that also you can directly start from the brief here. But it's a good flow. You analyze, and then you create your brief. So to create a brief, you have to click here from the analysis, and here you have to select a template. Okay, I will explain quickly what is a template. So I go back to this view, and when you are here on the left menu, you go on content brief, you go in brief template. And now you create a new template. Basically, a template, will define the elements that will be displayed in your brief, right? And you create 1, 2, 3 templates that you can reuse as much as you want when you create a brief. So also the idea of the brief with thruuu is that you can pick some elements. Here you have a list of 15 elements. You don't need all of them. I recommend to have some of them at least, the most important one. For instance, the writer directive, drag and drop. This is usually my first element in my brief because it will automatically display the target keyword. You can also put some notes. So basically you can put boilerplate text. Let's say you can put your guidelines. So when you put your guidelines in a template, each time you use this template, your guidelines will be displayed. So it's accelerate your workflow. You don't need all the time to copy paste guidelines. You can also define your audience if you want as a default audience, but usually I leave that empty. You can also define the region, but otherwise it will use your search parameter. You can also define a search intent, but it's a bit silly because search intent is per keyword, right? But in case you want to have default text, you can. Okay, so this is my first element. Then I recommend to have the article summary, basically the meta information. So here you cannot put default text, but you will be able to fill this information later on. So title, description, the slug, target word count, article type, tone. So you will see later on when we are in the brief creation that all this form guide your creation process. Then the most important component is the outline. Here we will be able to create the outline structure. And then you have other elements. You can add the frequent questions. So automatically through will extract the question and put them in the brief. So here you have nothing to do. This element will automatically fetch information. You can also put the top topics. So this will be also automatically fetched. Through will display the top topics directly in your brief. And then you have more data if you want to share that with your writer. The SERP Insight display only key metrics about the SERP. The competitor analysis display the SERP listing and also the AI overview listing, etc. You have more elements and also one element that is called a free text. Free text, you can do anything. So basically you can add, I don't know, if you want to maybe give a company description to your writer or to your freelance writer or to your to anybody, to your manager if they don't know who they are. But yeah, so you can put here a company description, and basically this element will be also displayed in your brief. So with the free text, you can basically do anything, right? Then I'm happy with that. I will call it demo webinar May. Okay, so now my brief is created. Usually you do one brief per client or two or one or two per project. Or so you see, you can create your, let's say 5, 6, 7 brief and then, brief templates and then use them as much as you want. Okay, so now I created my template. Let's go back here. I can create a brief now. And you see now in my list, I have demo webinar May, which is our template. So now when I will create the brief, I will be in a new interface. And this interface will display basically all the elements that we picked. So you can see here on the left your workspace with all the elements, company description. You see when I click here, I have directly the company description already filled. The writer directive also already filled. So now this interface is not for a writer or a copywriter. I mean, you can give it access to your copywriter, by the way, but for me, it's more for the SEO strategist. The person who did the analysis, now what he has to do is to compile his research into a brief, right? And then this brief will be shared with your client or with your team or with your copywriter. So let's go through it. First, you have some action, saving, SERP analysis. You can also open the SERP analysis. You can also open the live SERP. You can share it. We do that later on. We can also export as a doc. And also you can edit some pages. And I will show you that later on that, well, you can also disable some pages if you want some of them to not be used by the AI, let's say, feature of the SERP analyzer, of the content brief. The first one, the first block, write a directive. Okay, so here, basically nothing to do. My directive doesn't change. I can define my audience. What was the topic? So accounting software. So maybe, yeah, I don't know. Audience is IT because they might look for new software. They might research that or a counter. So you define your audience, your target persona here. Then the region, automatically it picked my search parameter. So the USA in English. And now you can also put a search intent. So we did a SERP analysis. I mean, obviously we didn't do a proper one, sorry, but usually you are not speaking in front of a camera and you can do a proper SERP analysis. And here on explain to your writer the search intent. Also, you can use AI, and here through is analyze the SERP and give you some insights about what could be the search intent. Obviously, you should read that, adapt it based on your own research, but here you can start with something coming with a base. All right, then I move on. Now you have the second block where you can define the title. So you can click here and you have a new view where you will see the SERP title, the AI overview title, and also you can generate one with AI. So here it will analyze the SERP and basically suggest you some title. You click here, it's displayed there. You can also check the frequent keywords used in titles and do your fine tuning. All right. Yes. Making a title is quite key. So don't do it like me by just clicking on the first AI one, fine tune your title, but you can get started quite fast. Description is the same story. You have the SERP description, the meta, the same for the AIO. You can generate one with AI. Here, just to make it faster, I'll just click on one and it's displayed here. Again, don't copy things from your competitor, but create your own. For the slug, it takes automatically the keyword. You can change it if you want, and here you go. Also, I recommend to indicate a number of words for your writer. You can use the top 3, the top 10, or just put random numbers or the number of your choice. Again, here you can define the type if you want, saying I want to do a listicle. You can also say the tone. By the way, if you don't want to fill this information, leave them empty. Later on, they won't be displayed to your writer. You get the idea. It's just to guide you in the creation process step by step, and helping you to fill this information. The most important block, the outline block. So here you can click here, and again you have a view where you will see a lot of information coming from the SERP, coming from the AIO. Here it's a rich text, by the way, so you can do what you want. And here you have some data. The first is a competitor. So here you can see the outline. So we can analyze the outline. And when we are happy with the headings, we can click on it. It will be added here. Also, you can hide or disable a page if you want. So it won't be displayed if you don't want, I don't know, if there is some page that makes no sense because it's maybe a service page or a landing page, you can hide it. Also, you can add your own page here, like you dedicate a specific URL that is not in the SERP, and also data will be extracted. You can switch here to the AIO. So I was on the top 10 organic result. You can go to the top 10 AIO or top 20. Remember, this SERP had 34 sources. That's why there is more than the organic. Also, the organic, we can analyze up to 100. I didn't tell you that. For this example, I only analyze the top 10. So you can also go to the AIO and browse them. I will speak about the AI outline later on. Also, the headings, you can see all the headings, H1, H2, AIO H1, AIO H2. The questions also from the organic, from the PAA, and from the AIO. So you have a lot of data to create a comprehensive content brief. But usually how I do it right now, I mean, I leverage AI. So with thruuu as well, you have an AI tool inside the brief creator. So you can generate an AI outline. You click here, and now you have different mode. You can ask the AI to leverage organic data only, AI overview data only, or both, a mix of organic and AIO, or basically only the keywords, so no data from the SERP. So here again, you can play around because you can generate as much AI outline you want. It won't cost any additional credits. So you can play around, generate outline based on the AIO. It's quite long here. Oops, sorry, I just moved that here. So you can generate an outline based on the AIO. Here, now it's displayed. And also you can see that it has been saved. So if I generate now a second one, it will be displayed here. So you can generate 2, 3, 4 AI outline and then mix them together. Basically, this is how I work. This is how I work. I mean, I start with one AI outline, then I generate a second one. Then I start to fine tune, I remove some headings. I go to the competitors because I found some nice headings and some angle that I would like to include. I check the frequent headings and the questions. So I basically try to mix all this information to make something really meaningful. And I will show you, if you want later, like one of my final brief that I share with my writer. So what I wanted to say, yes, here when you click here, what's also great with thruuu, so besides the fact that you can now also define what is a data source, you can also force the type of the outline. Here we leave it on the default. So the AI just basically generates what it believes is the best outline based on your competitor. But you can also force a type. And for instance, I will show you, you can have like an FAQ one. So if I want just to have question and answer, you can generate here. And you see now, it's the same SERP analysis, the same data as an input, but here the format is different because we use the FAQ format. So we have all the headings that are questions followed by a simple answer. Bracket, thruuu is not a AI writer tool, it's a content brief tool. So you can try to write full article. Some of you try. I'm not sure about the result, but you can at least do little notes for your writer. So you have more information than just the headings. So here you go, I replace it, and you can see now my the AI analysis, also sorry, the AI outline is saved here. And also what is cool with thruuu is that you can create your own type, because you will see if you have 5 default types, but you can create your own. And I will show you one that I used a lot on my side. So to create a type, I call that outline prompts. Click here. It opens a new view that's also accessible from here, from the menu, outline prompt. So here you can create this tiny prompt. So click here, and you have to put a name for your prompt. Here you click here, you will find some example. So there is an article explaining how to create the prompt, and also some example. So here you see a prompt. The content outline for a blog post. Below each headings, write a short note for the writer describing the information. Start your explanation with a label note for the writer. You see, it's really simple prompt. You don't need to tell him analyze the SERP. Just tell him how to structure the headings and maybe the tone to use. So here you can see that the result, H2 with a little note. The FAQ is the one we did before. It's exactly this one. So then you have question and answer. There is another one that we can show you, like, where is the sarcastic one? I remove it or what? Sorry, my favorite outline. Where is it? Here. This one is super simple to explain. Write every heading text in a very sarcastic way. It must be funny. Finish the outline with the H2 containing a rocket emoji and the text final thoughts if you still care. So I will copy paste this one now, and I will show you. I will create an outline prompt. So funny, let's put it 2 times. Here I put the prompt. Creativity, you can say default, more creative, less creative. My recommendation would be to test your prompt. You create one and then you repeat it on the SERP analysis to see what is output. And then you will have, let's say, great prompt for your future articles. And now when I go back here, I can select funny, right? Let's see what it does. I hope it will be funny because, yeah, also based on the SERP, sometimes the results are a bit strange. I mean, you cannot do a recipe prompt on a listicle of tools. Obviously, you can try, but it will be strange. So here you can see, in fact, it's a bit funny. I mean, the headings, the tone has been changed. So you get the point. You can play with the tone, you can play with the structure, you can tell him to include some keywords, you can basically tell him what to do. I will show you one that I really like as well, and I can share that with you as well if you want in the chat. It's tool listicle, because this SERP was clearly a listicle. And here I have a specific prompt that will automatically generate a structure that I'm using by the way, on the thruuu blog. I'm using this exact structure when I do listicle. I always start with choose ideal accounting software for your needs. So, I mean, like choose ideal keyword for your needs. Then I ask the prompt to list 5, 6, 7 benefit or way basically to choose the software. Then I ask the prompt to list the top 10 software that he found on the SERP with a little message for the writer and also the URL to visit. And finally, I end with a frequently asked question. So this is a great structure. I like it. And yes, it's the structure that I often use, by the way, on the thruuu blog. So you get the point. You can really force the output. And let's say we keep this one. So no, I'm fine with it. I save, I close the window. Let's go back to the outline. Okay, so the outline is done. Now let's finish the brief. Now we have the most frequent questions. Here it's automatically pulled or fetched from the SERP. On-page question as well. So if you want to give more insights to your writer, like you can also indicate some question to give him again a kind of context of who is searching. You can also add more questions, by the way. Click here or AI overviews, and they will be added. As well, one thing is that sometimes this brief can be used as prompt for AI. I know that some of the users of thruuu are doing that. They create a brief with thruuu, export as a doc, and give this data to a prompt like Claude, etc. to LLM, sorry, not to a prompt, to LLM like Claude to create an article. You have the top topics also here. You can select topics, you can add topics. You have also then here the data from the SERP insights, competitor analysis with AI overview and organic. And the company description, well, maybe I should have put that at the top, not at the end. And that's it. We created a content brief. Now, my next step will be to basically share it. So you can export as a doc. You will have a raw doc without any formatting. But also you can share it with a writer. You get a public link. So here, the writer don't need to create an account. And then here you go. You have a very nice brief with the target keyword, the goal and the guidelines, the search intent, some summary here with the title, number of words, description to use, the outline here that you can directly copy and put it in his Google Doc or Microsoft Doc. Then you have the most frequent question as well here if you want to have more context. The top topics as well here. So you can ask your writer to include these topics in the content. And here's a SERP analysis, basically. So the writer can also check who are the competitors on the SERP, from organic, from AI overview, and have a look at them if he needs to do more research. And here, company description. So yes, you can see, I mean, it's quite straightforward with thruuu. You can start from a SERP analysis, understand who are your competitors, understand the heading structure, the topics. Then you move to the content brief generator to gather all this information and finally share it with your writer. I assume in 30 minutes, you have a very, very comprehensive content brief. Yeah. Just to finish, and don't hesitate to drop your question in the chat. Just to finish, a few other things. You can also start from a brief directly. So let's say you click here, you can directly start from a brief. I will type what is SEO. Then you select your SERP. I want the US one. and then you select the number of results you want to analyze, and your template. And here you can create directly a brief. So here it will analyze the SERP in the background, obviously. So now through it's extracting data from the SERP, but you will directly be redirected to the content brief generator. Let's wait a few seconds. Here we go. So we will see now all the elements from this brief. So here you can see it's a different brief, that's why there is no notes. But here you can see now I'm directly in the interface to create a brief. But by the way, you always have the SERP analysis link to it. So you click here and you will open the SERP analysis. So if you have two screens, you can have one screen with the SERP analyzer or analysis and the one with the brief creator. Okay. Few other points to finish. So about maybe also the cost. So through is you can subscribe to through. If you're not a subscriber, you will get basically every month some credits. So based on your plan, you will get some credits, and also based on your plan, you have access to more or less feature. But the idea is that you get credits, and then you can do what you want with these credits. Analyzing a SERP costs 1 credit. Creating a brief costs 5 credits, right? And then also, we didn't speak about the cluster. I will do a webinar about the clustering feature in 1 month. But also here you can drop a long list of keywords and group them together. And clustering 1,000 keywords costs 50 credit. Other things, quickly, as you are still here, you can also create brief and you can analyze in bulk. There is an API and also bulk tool, so you can enter a long list of keywords. Sorry, I do that quickly, but you can enter a long list of keywords and then analyze that in bulk. So if you want to have like 100 SERP analysis or 100 content brief, you can also directly use the SERP the bulk feature. And finally, if you are working with a team, you can also create teams and workspaces. So you can invite members to your company. So you can create let's say a company profile, a team, invite people. And also you can create workspaces if you want to segregate the information between people and projects. And then you can define which member should belong to what workspaces. I guess you're familiar with this mechanism. Okay, just one last thing, and I will show you maybe one of the briefs I created recently. So let me go in my other workspace. So I can show you a final result of a brief. So maybe this one. I will share that. So I show you the public view. So this is exactly a content brief that my writer received, scaling content production. So you can see I always explain the objective of the article, why we do this article, and also what feature should be highlighted in the article. Then he has a guideline. He has some example as well. He knows the target audience, the search intent. Then you see my outline are quite long. I put a lot of information. I put some notes, a lot of notes to the writer. So like this, I can guarantee that my article have a good quality, and also that the writer has less research to do because I do most of the research for him. And also topics, frequent questions, and the same component that I shared with you previously. And also sometimes also put some article to read for him. So yes, to accelerate his research. All right. That's basically it. We did the tour of the SERP analysis. I show you how to analyze the SERP, extracting data from AI overviews, trying to understand patterns, trying to figure out uniqueness in the SERP or in the AI overviews, and then moving to the content brief. And finally, creating a brief that you can share with your writer. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, I think we can close this webinar. And I can also invite you to join the next webinar. You will receive an invitation by email. And no, okay, Steve. So you have no writer. You only use AI to create content, right? This is your point. I mean, it works. By the way, I mean, yes, I have some customer who are using thruuu for the SERP analysis, and as well for the API. I didn't mention that there is an API as well. So if you use make or n.n8n, all these tools, so you can also integrate directly the SERP analyzer data, also the content brief data in your make workflow. Great, thanks, Michael, as well. You're always here. Great, Scott. I'm happy that I share valuable information today. So, and again, guys, don't hesitate to contact me. You have my email address, sam@thruuu.com. Yes, there will be some webinar in French very soon, but as well in English, end of the month in June, where we speak about BOFU content and how to rank in LLM. So quite exciting. Yes, so please don't hesitate to come back to me by email, on LinkedIn. And Scott, use the tool more often as well. So you will see all the great value that you will get. All right, so I wish you a nice day, evening, and day off if you are in Europe tomorrow. And talk to you soon. Bye-bye.